So hey y'all, it's your boy Trixelbit, aka Marco, and more streaming, more game dev today. So last time we were doing some movement stuff and starting to get the animation controller running, right? My plans for today in this stream is to play around with some shader stuff I've been doing off stream, work on the lane visuals, and maybe even work on some art today, specifically player sprites, playing around with normal maps, making things look cool and nice. So yeah, it's gonna be we're gonna be experimenting and playing around with stuff today, and we'll see what we cook up. So let's actually go to our laptop screen view so you can see what we've been doing. So fun little wiggly lines. They're pretty cool looking, I'm not gonna lie, man. I was playing around with them today, different settings. I've been playing around with the shader itself and doing a bunch of fun little things with it. And I got to this point where we have these nice gradient lines and that the shader will generate lanes dynamically by just inputting the correct, the number of lanes you want to have. So if you actually look at this, you might be asking, like, why do we have these spaghetti line things happening here? Why is that a thing? Well, the idea that I had in mind, and I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but we're playing around with it, is that they would be the individual lanes that mark out where you can travel to. So there's like a visual indicator that shows to the player where they are right now, you know? I'm not sure how I like them because of how wiggly they are. It doesn't feel like you're in... I'm not sure if it cleanly describes the lane you're in to the player, but I think it so far seems to be doing a pretty decent job of it. So I'm gonna keep playing around and toying with this because I think there's promise here. I think there's definitely some promise with this, to say the least. That being said, there's definitely some finagling that needs to be done here. One of the things is actually rotating this a little bit more, so it better encapsulates the player. So yeah, all this stuff the lanes isn't coming from a texture, though it could. We can leave that open, right? But the main thing that's happening there is that there's a shader I wrote that will automatically create, it will discard pixels if they're not close to a certain threshold next to these lane markers. And if they're on the lane markers, then they begin this gradient between color 1, which is like an orange color, and color 2, the primary color. Or I have them backwards, but that's essentially what they're doing, right? And it actually kind of creates a nice little effect here. And I'm actually like I wrote a little vertex shader, you know, a little vertex shader to move, to wobble all the vertices. And in fact, if you look at it, you can even modify this stuff in real time. So I go to the cylinder, and if I go to all these properties here, I can modify things like how many lanes there are, for example, right? And it dynamically switches it up. I can modify the line cutoff, so I can make this tighter, or thinner, or wider, and you get this, and you see both colors in their natural state. You can also play around with how much wobble there is, right? And how fast it is. So right now the wobble amount for the vertex is really small, but if I were to like amp it up like crazy, you get some wild, cool, crazy, wacky, insane effects that look pretty cool actually, I'm not gonna lie. Not for the, maybe not useful right now, but I definitely want to explore some more stuff with this. Especially if you do something like a black hole in the background or something. Either way, cool, fun stuff. Okay? I thought my screen was covered up by something. Let me change the music real quick. I have a playlist that I like playing, so we're gonna go to that and just go to here. I like my Little Big Planet song. Oh? Nabil. What's going on, Nabil? What you doing here, man? What's going on, Nabil? What's shaking? Here to convert me to whatchamacallit, to Gamacker. Gotta support you, you know. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, damn, for 4 months too. Dang, bro. You've been in there, man. I appreciate it. Well, make yourself comfortable. Sit back, and we're gonna see some weird jank shenanigans. Yeah, let me get back to my. Yeah, you go do your thing, man. You go do your thing. I'm gonna be out here sniffing glue. I'm gonna be out here sniffing glue while I do some more Godot stuff. Godot shader things in particular. So yeah, I already kind of showed a lot of the things you can do here. So I'm gonna play around with the shader a little bit more. I want to make this have a defined outline. I also want to play around with the ramp, so you can customize how, like, low. If you want to have this gradient be very long or very short and tight. Yeah, you stop it. With this Unreal, you could have done this in Unreal Business. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. This ain't that kind of place. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I feel even like in the Godot space too, man. People will be like, why are you writing the Godot shader? I don't know. It just makes sense to me to do it this way, man. Leave me alone, man. If I wanted to do like node graph shader stuff, I would have been using shader graph in Unity a long time ago. Apparently, I'm just not that kind of guy. Apparently, I'm not built that way right now. Maybe one day. Just add bullet trails for sniper bullets and just added bullet trails for sniper. Ooh, that's cool. Do you have any like videos or GIFs of it or anything like that? You got any proof? Oh man, my headphone might be dying, man. I think that might be just what's happening here. No, my headset wasn't dying. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my nieces come into the house, right, sometimes, and they like to play with I have a mixing board here, right? I have like a little dumb little mixing board right there, right? And whenever they come over, they love to play with the dials, right? And for the past the past week or two of like streaming or even just using the headset in general, right? I was like, how come every time I used my microphone audio, I was like, why does one side have like a bunch of high content and why does the other one lack that high content? I don't understand it. And I just realized right now that they turned the dial on my microphone inputs. So this entire time I was like, am I going deaf? Am I losing hearing? Do I got wax in my ears? Because that happened to me at some point where I actually had a buildup of wax and like I started hearing a ringing in my ears and I thought I had tinnitus. So I was going crazy and turns out it was my nieces. That's good to know though. That's good to know. That's good to know. My D&D campaign is about to start, but I got you. All right, bet. Hey, at your earliest convenience. At your earliest of convenience, all right? You provide the deets whenever it suits you, man. Okay, anyways. Shader stuff. It's so weird, because I don't have Vim bindings for this. This is like their in-engine editor for shader stuff. And so far, I haven't found a solution to do it externally. So, we're just in it, which means I don't have Vim bindings, which is very weird for me. I'm not gonna lie. It feels very odd to me. Ooh, and before I even get too deep in the weeds, let me put up a timer. Let me put my timer up. I'm not gonna be too long. timer. I want to go to sleep. I have a normal human sleep schedule lately. It's crazy. Like I go to sleep at like 10. What? I actually get up like, you know, at a reasonable time. I'm not gonna say what time, but at a reasonable time, which is insane. It's crazy. I feel like a normal person. All right, back to here and back to here. But yeah, anywho. So the task at hand, one thing I want to play around is like having this variable to adjust how tight this gradient ramp is gonna be. And right here, you'll see there's this fragment shader where this logic is being done, right? Got all these things going on here. It boils down to a quadratic formula and just having a cutoff value. It sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. It's not that crazy at all. I have a Desmos thing here that helps visualize it. Let me find it. Here we go. So here's the Desmos graph that explains what's going on here, right? So imagine with me just for a second. No. There we go. Imagine with me that I want to make sure I'm addressing whatever. All right. Imagine with me that the value here on the y-axis, right? 0 is you're at a line, right? And 1 is you're at a line, right? So imagine going back to Godot. Imagine with me that this line right here and this line right here, right? Is this, right? So as you get closer to a line, a certain value is going to go up, right? It's going to go from being like close to 0 or 0 exactly, and it's going to go up until it reaches 1, right? And then you can imagine that this pattern repeats, right? In either side, right? Every time you get closer to the end of a section, you start getting this ramp up, right? This is all cool and dandy, right? And this is where we get our little color gradation happening. Cool. Now, what I'm starting to realize is that what I'm trying to do is add a tightness value here, where instead of it being like this, we can actually tighten the value between here and here. So the slope is a bit steeper, right? So we can make it where, if I get my snipping tool, no. I like the old snipping tool, I don't like the new one. Hey, concept art for our new game. Check it out. Greg did an awesome job. Greg is fantastic. Fantastic artist. I can't wait to translate this to pixel art. I'm probably have to do some more art streams. We need to do that. It's been such a long time, and as cool as coding may be, art is just, it's kind of fun, man. In fact, maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I'll start doing that today just to warm up, you know, get the chops going, you know. That might be worth doing. In complete honesty. Maybe we'll do that. Anyways, I want to make a function or a way to make this steeper at the corners. We're going to find out if maybe this is something I try to tackle now. Or maybe this is something we leave for later. Because right now, so something I've kind of observed is that whenever I feel like every time I stream, my programming IQ takes like a negative 20 like debuff. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the second hand thing. Maybe it's the third person thing. I don't know. But for some reason, as soon as I press start, become a Neanderthal. All right, let's sit down and try to work through it. All right, so we have our lane count as a float. Cool. We have our segment, so we divide 1 by the number of lanes. Makes sense, right? Then we have our normal value, so it's mod of the UV's x position and the segment, the segment length. Okay, that makes sense. You want to be within the value of a segment. Okay, I see you. And then this base thing, which represents this, which basically represents everything in the parentheses here, right? Everything inside the parentheses. That's what that base thing is, right? The only difference is that instead of 2 we use the number of lanes. Okay, cool. Oh, we actually still use 2. We do 2 times the number of lanes. Whatever. You get the idea, right? Okay, and then we do base times base. Base, essentially this squared. So this whole stuff squared. Cool. Cool. And then finally, the albedo is the mix between the edge color and the edge color versus the actual color color, right? And mix is essentially just lerp. It's literally the same thing as lerping, right? Cool. Nothing that crazy, right? Nothing that crazy. So what we want to really manipulate here is this final ramp value, right? And we can do that in a couple ways. No matter what, it's going to be kind of clamped within this 0 to 1 value range, right? And you might notice that even down here later on, right? If it's below a certain cutoff, we just nix it entirely. Cool. So, options we have here, right? I'm thinking we can add a multiplier, right? That changes how fast this gradient happens. So maybe over here by the color stuff, we add another uniform, make it a float, and then, I don't know, gradient multiplier. Cool, that's gonna be a float. And then we can do this times molt color, or multiply, gradient molt. Yup. And then we can do a clamp. We can clamp this. And then I'm assuming in a clamp function. Oh, my bad. I'm assuming that the first value is value, the second is gonna be the minimum, and the third one's gonna be max. And that, well, let's see. Let's actually play around with this value. So let's verb 0. So maybe that's why we're getting this weird stuff. We make it closer to 1. No. Ooh, actually, that actually kind of is. Yes. Yeah. Ooh, no, not quite. And the reason I say not quite is because the color is disappearing over here. It's almost like coming off the edge. It's not going to the darkest value quicker. It feels like the gradation is still the same, just split off a little bit. So, okay, we're not quite there, but this is something. We're working with something here. Okay, so we are working with something. Let's see, maybe we have the clamp function incorrect. Let's just check this out real quick. Let's just hit up the documentation. I know it's gross to look at documentation, but we're gonna look at documentation today. Okay, so Godot clamp shader. Yes, maybe not actually. It might behoove us to keep this here. So we're gonna just do another tab. Godot shader clamp and see what this gives us. Shader language docs. So let's see what we got here. Excuse me. So let's go here. Perfect. So X min max. Okay, I am correct. So the first one is value, the second one is min, the second one is max, third one is max. And if I'm not mistaken, I am doing that. Yes, I am. Cool. So it should be. So let's think here. So we have edge color, we have color, then we have this ramp value, so it might be 0, might be 1, whatever, right? So let's say, for example, it's 0.5, right? And if our gradient map value is 2, then 0.5 becomes 1, right? If it was 0.25, then it would be increased. So it kind of pushes lower values up more. That's not exactly what I wanted, actually. No. Now what happens if I make it a decimal, right? Because currently it's So if it's a 1, we get the same effect that we had in the beginning, right? If you make it a decimal, oh, so the second color becomes completely takes over. Okay, so it feels like this is still okay. So it still feels like we're okay. What if you get rid of the clamp? Or yeah. Let's play with this. It's gonna behave the same way. Yes, it behaves the same way. Cool. So this whole clamp business and is not gonna change the basic underlying behavior of this. Cool. So we need something fundamentally different than just this. Okay. Okay. How do we change the ramps? So let's go back into our Desmos. What value in the quadratic changes the slope? I can think of this, but I wonder if changing the coefficient, what we would need to do, because right now it loses contact with, or maybe that's actually what we want. That actually may be what we want. Let's actually just test this out. Not gonna bother thinking about it too much. We're just gonna test it out, and we apply this at what? We multiply we multiply this with the basis. Cool. No, stop that. We're gonna do gradient mult times base, and we're just gonna use the raw ramp value as is, and then we're gonna go back into our little thing here and lane cutoff. We're gonna play with this value again. Ooh, so no, that's something we don't want, which is play around with the cutoff value. Yeah, we don't want that. Because by playing, we want to be able to keep the silhouette the same. We just want to play with the color itself, right? So this may require a more involved rework of this formula here, because it's bound to a quadratic. One thing I could see, one thing that we can potentially do is keep the original ramp value, make a new ramp value, mult ramp, and it's gonna be equal to ramp times gradient ramp. Now it's not gonna produce the effect I want it to, but at the very least this will maintain, this indeed will maintain the silhouette of this. Though I don't believe it's not gonna do the same thing. It's not gonna achieve the desired effect I wanted. So if I play with this gradient mult field, right? We're gonna play around with this. Yeah, so it's just modifying everything in general. It's essentially become the... No. I really wish I can I expand this out? Can I make this separate? Edit, go to help, find, no. Online docs, no. Go to bookmarks, no. No, not go to line, complete symbol. Can I just want to separate this out. I just want to yoink it out. That's cool. I don't want to expand it all the way either. Oi, 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 oi. Are you Devin, son? I'm trying to, Cujo. I'm trying my darndest. I'll tell you what. Trying to get this whole shader business going. But it's going alright. Much you, man. I have to learn stuff. I have to do math, man. It's kind of crazy. I have to use my brain and do some math. What? You have to use math to make games? What? Dude, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for that at all. Oh, of course. It's using the ingredient map. I'm supposed to use a mult ramp variable. There we go. Okay. I am not as dumb as I thought I was. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's still not the desired effect though. We're still at square one. But at the very least, the silhouette's being maintained. So we have to think about this. So yeah. It looks cool in the game. Oh my goodness. I've been learning the bass line for this song. And it comes up a bunch. I've been transcribing this like crazy. I got the sheet music written up for it. I got like 2 minutes I think of worth of playing. Yeah, this is where we're at right now. It's Fight and Flight HD. Look at this, normal maps, crazy. Yeah, I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed with this song. The bass line is so good. It's a basic walking bass line, but I've been learning so much about like how you can take there's like you can break the bass line into a bunch of like little units that transition you from like one chord number to another chord number, right? And if you think about it in those terms, any song you play, if you're gonna go from like a 1 to 4, you have this pattern, this palette of patterns you can pull from to like do it. It's so sick. It requires like doing homework and like transcribing and then notating the chords that are being played. You're playing over and all that stuff. But ooh, it's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. I still need to sit down and really keep and grind them out, because like I could play the patterns into, like together in a song, but then learning how to reuse them in different contexts. My brain needs to like, it's a different kind of wiring. You know what I'm saying? This far. I'm gonna change the song. One second. I'm not sure if it's copyrighted or not. No. We'll go with this. Yeah, one day I'm like recording a bunch of like we're doing a bunch of recordings just to see to try to get it down. Nothing really exposes your playing than recording yourself. That's the best way to practice any music, to be honest. Come on, music. Why are you taking forever to load? I only have 50,000 tabs open. Why are you taking forever to load? It's only 1 billion tabs, son. Yeah, this is coming together pretty cool, though. It's coming together, man. And then the idea here, because like I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick with this basic spaghetti noodle effect. What I'm thinking is what I'm thinking about doing is actually having another texture that just goes on top of this, right? To imply a more electrical kind of look to it, right? But we're still cooking. We're still cooking. We're still seeing like what really works. And right now, I want to get like a tight outline on this, right? I'm trying to do it within the fragment shader. That's the way I'm thinking about this for right now. Is there? I'm trying to remember. Because I know in GLS, like for when I was in GameMaker world, when I was in the world of GameMaker, you know, actually, do I have this game still? GameMaker. Because you know what, maybe, I mean, probably not. Because Godot has their own flavor of GLS. Like, they have their own little language that's not exactly GLS, though. It has a lot of the same functional ideas of it, but just, like, more tightly integrated to the engine, I think. And, you know, no, I'm not going to upgrade from 2.3 to 2020. When did you start using version numbers like that? No. Go away. I'll have to log it. Excuse me. Authentication failed. I don't know my password, man. Just let me in. Let me in. Oh my goodness. Log in. Yes. Yes, this is the one. This is the one. Project Blazer, Keyshow, Fight and Flight. Oh, I still have that actually. That's kind of cool to know. Autumn overlay dot product. I did that. That was a thing. Oh, I don't have it, do I? Well, that kind of sucks. Oh well. It's kind of cool that I still have this though. Okay, we're just gonna close out of you then for now. But yeah, what I was planning to bring up. Do I not have any Knuckle Dust videos at all? 1 second. Trixelbeat, Knuckle Dust 2. I have this. But no, I don't believe there's any images of, yeah, I have like, what? What are you doing here? What? What are you doing in Japanese Twitter? What are you doing there? No such, probably not going to weird sites where they might have weird ads. Huh. And Knuckles. Alright, well, we're not gonna show it today, I guess. But, there's a lighting effect in that game that I did by sampling, to create rim lighting on sprites. And you would sample the pixels adjacent to the current one. And based off of that, I would determine, first of all, if it's like on the edge of if the pixel's on the edge of the sprite, you know, between the transparent and normal. And then I'd also factor in like the if there's light in the back of the character, and then factor that into the rim lighting, right? And I'll generate a shadow that covers most of the character sprite except for the outline pixels, right? And it would create this cool effect. It would create an effect that actually looks very similar to what we're doing now via normal maps, where when the player goes to a certain place of lighting, you'd get this little rim here, right? So that's what we did before. But like I said, that was mostly possible due to the fact that I was able to sample the adjacent pixels, right? And GameMaker uses GLSL, right? So what I'm wondering is, what is can you do that here within this fragment shader, right? I feel like you should be able to do it. In fact, now that I think about it, excuse me, my chest feels like kind of funny, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like I ate something funky in my esophagus. Proceed to eat more. But yeah, so I could maybe do like UE.x or minus, like, I don't know. How do I determine the like texel unit though? That's the question. Is there a thing that lets me go like texture? All right, what is it texture LOD? No, because all inbuilt variables are all capitalized. That's what I've noticed as well. So it has to be like pixel alpha. Okay, we have to check out the reserved keywords. I think that's where we just have to go there. We just have to go to Godot's and check out their stuff. Godot shader pixel size. Let's say that. Pixel size. Is that what that is? Is it the pixel size within coordinate space? Please tell me they just have that inbuilt. I'm not seeing it. Don't give me hope. It says default texture. For example, no. Wait, why am I even sampling? Oh. Yeah, this is a funky thing. We can't actually, so okay, this is not based off of a texture because we're generating the fragments while it's being ran. So we can't actually sample them because there's no texture to sample, right? Unless I was writing this to something like that, but that's not what we're doing here. Okay. In that case, well, that gives more leeway to us then, because we can just offset stuff based off of the UV coordinate space. But I think that might be worse. Actually. So in this discard thing, what if we check? So what if we draw on the outline instead of inline? So we check if we're gonna be doing this cutoff, if you're eligible to be discarded, right? And then have another condition to see if, I don't know, uv.x plus. But we can, there's a potential to go out of, oh no, we just mod it. That's fine. So mod, if mod uv.x plus, I don't know, 0.001. That's fine. 1 is greater than the line cutoff. Yeah. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Marco? Talk to me. What are we doing? We are going to say, and then we're gonna do a little else. A little else discard here. And then we're gonna do albedo equals edge color. And we were wrong. Or maybe this is too thin. Maybe we have to make, maybe we gotta up it a little bit. What about minus? Okay, no, that doesn't work. Oh man, there is no Tooth Fairy. Am I developing a game? Yes, I am. Vontronium. Yeah, I'm actually making this right now. So this is what this game looks like right now. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. It looks weird in an actual runtime. Yeah, so this is a remake of old game I did. TLDR. I moved to Godot after all the Unity stuff, and we're making a small game as a way to test the waters to determine whether or not we're gonna port our old game to this, or if we're gonna stick to Unity for that game, finish it, publish it out, and then move to Godot for all future games. As for the language we're working in, or I'm working in, I'm writing in Godot's shader language. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this stuff, right? But shader code is typically the stuff that's ran on the GPU of your computer, not on the CPU, right? So this little effect that's happening here, this whole line wobble effect is being produced here in the GPU shader code, right? Yeah, like directly there. None of this is being done on the CPU. This is purely GPU stuff, which is pretty fun. Like I feel like I used to be so scared of GPU shader code, because I was like, ooh, that's some big brain stuff. That's like big 500 IQ stuff. But now that I've actually started to understand and get comfortable with GPU stuff, with GLSL and now Godot's shader language, it's really cool because you just spend time just making bizarre, weird, funky looking things, and it's a real immediate gratification. Trying to wrap my head around JavaScript. Oh my goodness. Out of curiosity, what are you doing with JavaScript in particular? Are you just trying to learn programming? Are you working on web stuff? Like, is it for class? Are you doing some work, internship stuff? Like, what's got you in the JavaScript world? Out of curiosity. And I'm not dogging on JavaScript. I'm not dogging on it. It's just, you know, it's a very different thing. That's all I can say. It's very different. I can't stand entry-level jobs. Oh yeah, they crush you, man. I know for me, I used to work at Guitar Center, and even then, it's a retail job that's like it's a retail job in an environment I actually like, within the field I actually enjoy. I like doing music. I love doing music stuff, right? And I learned a lot from it. However, no matter how good of the subject it is, like when you have to be face to face with customers and deal with all the normal retail stuff and like deal with all the scheduling and just everything, like it just takes so much more energy beyond just the hours you work. It's crazy. It's crazy. When I worked at Guitar Center, I couldn't do any game development stuff. I stopped programming for like the year I worked there. I got super rusty. It was the first time I ever experienced like going back to coding and being genuinely like confused and like, oh, what? It's wild. It takes energy out of you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cause like I would get home, and I could have a day. I would get home and I'd be so exhausted. I would go straight to sleep, man. And if I worked the next day, I did not want. It filled me with just anxiety and dread, knowing that I have to go back to that place to waste another X amount of hours. And then even if I got off early, I just wouldn't have the energy. I would not have the energy to do game deving stuff. It was bad, you know. Which is why I enjoy my job, you know, as much as because I work as a programmer in Unity like full time, right? And you know, there's some negatives to it, like yeah, you know, I spent X amount of energy doing Unity for my day job, then I come back home and I don't really want to do more Unity stuff, but you know, I'm still in the mindset so I can do it. But at least I'm in the mood, I'm in the mindset of it, right? And I have energy to do it, right? Whereas retail, oh my goodness, man. Even if it's part-time, right? Part-time retail takes more energy than full-time, like, programming, you know? That's good to hear that you're doing a career change. Hopefully it's promising. Yeah, JavaScript is a trip, man. It's a trip. People have a lot of opinions about, especially if you're picking it up, like programming. People have a lot of opinions about what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to start with. You know, no, you shouldn't use JavaScript. You should use a statically typed language like C or C++, yada, 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 yada. Learn the basics like that. No, you should use Rust. And I understand where those people are coming from, but the most important thing is that you're doing stuff. You're getting your hands dirty. You're actually doing code. That's important. If you're enjoying it, even better, right? Sure. Maybe it'll be good for you to learn a statically typed language at some point, just to understand how that feels. Or pick up TypeScript. That achieves that very same thing. And it's pretty good. But all that matters is you're just getting you're in there, like underwear. Try my hand at freelancing. Yeah, there's a bunch of opportunities for that too, freelancing. Yeah, there's like I forgot the name of the sites, but there's a couple of different sites that, you know, if you're like, the name of the game is experience and portfolio, right? People want to see that you have work experience. They want to see that you have not only work experience, but also like a portfolio of things you worked on, right? So like freelance sites are not a bad way of going about that, right? Because on the one hand, you get money for work, for doing work, and on the other hand, you start building your own portfolio because now you have these things you could point to, be like, yes, I did a thing, you know? So yeah, not bad at all. What part of programming are you enjoying? What am I doing? I've been spinning around this for like 5 minutes. Let me click on here and then go into here and I figure out what I'm doing. Albedo equals edge color. If I make this like 0.2, what happens? What about 0.9? Ho ho ho. What about 0.4? Okay, we have a value we can play around with here. We're gonna play with this. We're gonna call this value, I don't know, outline width. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Uniform. Float. Outline width. Yes. Yes, outline width. What are we doing? Oh, the value's in here. Yes, sir. We're gonna do outline. What is this music? What is this music I'm listening to right now? I'm genuinely befuddled. Alright, outline width. Okay. This is having some odd adverse effects, actually. This is not behaving the way I thought it would at all. I identified an edge case, so let's just try this out. So if okay, we're gonna make two booleans here. Left over threshold, and then, oh my goodness, I wish it was Vim. I wish I was in Vim right now. I wish I had Vim bindings. That way I can just go super fast and if you're not familiar, Vim is like a text editor and it has its own particular set of controls. How long did it take you to learn that language? So this one in particular, shader language, it's odd, right? I learned a little bit like a couple years ago, and then it's only now these past couple months where I've really, I would say the past years when I've started to really get a grasp and handle over how this stuff works. Mind you, there's still quite a bit I don't fully understand. And my lead at work has been super, he's awesome. He's been super, every time we get a chance, sometimes he'll sit down and just explain something to me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this explains so much. Because a lot of this stuff, right, is me banging things together, right, and kind of intuiting what's kind of happening, but not really fully understanding the logic of it. I just know, oh, a thing worked, right? And the beautiful thing about shader code is that it updates in real time, right? And if there's an error, it's not going to end everything. It's not going to create a crazy thing, right? Like right now there's an error and it's still rendering something. It's just not rendering my code properly, right? And then if I fix it, then bam, you're good to go, right? But yeah, for this, it kind of took me about like, I'd say about a year for me to kind of understand this. Mind you though, it's not the majority of what I do. Because all this GPU stuff is only purely visual things, right? Some nerds like to use something called compute shaders, in which case, you know, it's still running on your GPU, but it's not doing something visual and flashy and cool. It's making something that's it's computing a bunch of values, right? Like Bitcoins. But most of the time I'm in C# land programming. And C# it took me about, which is like what I actually work with on a day-to-day basis. That's like my actual bag. That took about 3 years, I'd say, to really get a good grasp of. Yeah, about that long. But I gotta say, like, what made me learn the most is actually in the job itself. I'm not gonna lie, because like, if I were to characterize my skill, my training arc, right, or my proficiency with C#, right, it was like this, and then it started going up a little bit. And then I got my job interview, and I was able to convince them to somewhat of a reasonable degree that I'm not an absolute glue sniffer, right? And then after I got the job, being surrounded by people who are super smart in C# world, and you know, just kind of going around trying to like asking questions and looking at how good code looks like, my skill started going up because I started being way more surrounded by, you know, good code and having my code reviewed by people who are way more knowledgeable. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. The beauty of it is that you're never going to be really fully ready for your entry-level job or for your entry-level programming position, and that's fine, right? There's an expectation that you're going to learn and grow so much in your job. As long as you get some basics and foundations and then have some projects to show, you should be usually a peachy. Usually. Though it's very different, right? JavaScript web dev world is far more, I don't know, there's like a different vibe to it. I can't describe it. Sure, there's way more jobs, but at the same time there's also like way more competition, it feels like. But you also get paid way more. Whereas most jobs for C# and Unity, you're either in simulation, or you're in business stuff, or you're in games, right? And if you're in games, you're not going to be paid as much, and you're most likely, not always, but a lot of times you're going to be dealing with like things like crunch culture, right? And very little work-life balance, right? And on the flip side, if you're in a simulation land, you could get paid a little bit more, or more than this, right? But you're just not going to be doing things that are generally very interesting. I'm happy that at least where I'm at, a lot of stuff I do at work is actually pretty interesting, but you know, people are different. It's a very, very different thing. Oh yeah, I already got this implemented. Cool. So which means we can go here. We can play around with these values. Outline width. Oh, and no. That is an incorrect value. We're getting the shadow thing, which is not right. Huh. I wonder why that is. That's cool. Why are you doing that? Oh, it's doing and. I needed to do or. Okay, we're on to something. I'm feeling lucky. Gradient mult outline width. And we're still wrong. This is in a very different way. What is going on here? Why are you behaving like this? This is wrong in many ways. Mm-hmm. Alright, if leftover... If right is over value. Okay. So we're doing UVX minus outline width. And it's wrapped to 1 because we're in UV space. Are we? Was that a bad assumption in my mind? Oh. 1 second. Okay. We're gonna have to do something a little bit more involved here. We're gonna have to make a method. Alright? It should be fine, but it's gonna have to be a method. Calculate val. Mix value. Let's say that. And we're gonna take in a vector 2 because UV position. So that's vector 2 to represent the UV position. And I think that should be most of, if not all. And then we can grab... Oh my goodness, I wish I was in Vim right now. I wish I was in Vim. Oh, I want my Vim. Oh. This outputs 2 values. It outputs the multi-ramp value, but then it also outputs the... No, we don't have to do that. We can output the ramp value and it should be fine. We can do clean code. Yeah, we're not accessing UV anymore. We're just doing UV position. And that should be fine. You should be fine. Why are you giving me problems? Unknown identifier, UV position. Oh, because my capitalizations are off. Okay, and then we return ramp. That's what we're doing. There you go. And then we're just gonna do calculate max value. We're gonna keep passing UV. Life is gonna be great. Is on the list of things to learn on my agenda. Anyway, have a good night. Hey, you take care. Yeah, C# and C++, most definitely. I highly recommend. One or the other, like, it doesn't matter, pick them up. If you want to do stuff really quickly, C# is fantastic. It's very, it's going to give you familiarized with a lot of different concepts, like object-oriented programming. Even allows, like, functional stuff, too, right? And it also allows, like, C++-esque things. But if you want to learn how to manage memory and get humbled in a great way, C++ is also fantastic. Also a fantastic choice. If you want to be spicy, add Rust to it. But yeah, good luck on your quest. Hopefully everything turns out good for you, right? Hopefully you get that job, you get your ticket out of that place, you get out of entry-level hell. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I love, like, talking. I could talk about this stuff all day. But, you know, yeah, feel free to reach out on anything, all right? Calculate mix level UV. Yeah, for sure. So we have this calculated now, and then we can calculate ramp. Fantastic. And then we can go into here, and now we can do this cool thing. Adjacent float adjacent Yeah, we'll do left ramp equals calculate ramp. Should I move this into a function? Should I move this into a function? I feel tempted to. It's becoming repetitive enough where I might warrant it. 2 is unfortunate, but 3 is a pattern, in which case we'll just keep it like this because it's never gonna go past 2. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna just do the mod uv.x plus outline width to make sure it's still within here. Oh wait. Oh wait a second. We have to pass in vex. Oh my goodness. Why did I write this? I know why I wrote it, but it's still a problem. Oh, honestly, oh no, because it still has to go iterate through all the yeah. It still has to cover every single. Yeah. Okay, we'll just do. Well, it's fine. We'll do vec2 uvx plus 1 uv.y comma duplicate this. All right, minus 1. Or actually minus outline width, yes. Yeah. Yo. And then we have to do this whole mod business because I don't want this peeking through to non-existent. Well, they exist, but you're gonna get weird wonky UV values. I don't want that. UV. Yep. Yeah. What are we doing here? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then left ramp, we're gonna add left value, and then we're gonna copy this and make a right ramp, and then you pass in the right value. I'm not sure if it's even right. It's probably incorrect name, but it's good enough for me. Okay, and then we do left ramp, and then right ramp. And we get something very weird. That's not what I wanted at all. This is something fundamentally very different than what I wanted. Let's play with the gradient mult, or the outline mult. Oh. It does kind of work. It actually does kind of work. It's not exactly what I expected, and it's kind of an odd value to do 0.678, but hey, them's the breaks. I guess when it's at 1, it's perfectly hidden, and then okay, so that kind of behaves like what we want it to, I think. It's not really outline width because it's kind of that at low levels, but if it's like yeah, it's very odd. It works kind of and then if we play around with the gradient mult to make it, yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about this, to be honest. Not sure how I feel about it, but you know what? We ball. Cool. Now let's play with one other thing. Because I'm just toying around with this at this point, right? There's just something to play around with. Let me reintroduce, let's make a new movement pattern, right? So I want to play around with the idea of having free movement for the player. So right now, we have this lane movement thing, which is all dandy, it's all cool. This class called lane movement. So let's make another class called free movement. Call free movement. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make an interface for these guys. Cause I'm still kind of playing around with the idea of having interchangeable movement mechanics. I think part of it's gonna have to come down to playtesting and seeing what feels better. Especially on mobile, because that's like our target, our main thing we're looking at doing. Eye movement. And you're going to implement eye movement as well. Oh, there's a class that already exists called free movement, doesn't it? Yes. Oh. Yeah, we're going to call you, I don't know, free rotation movement. Let's say that. That makes some sense to me. Okay, yeah, we're going to implement these guys. Fantastic. And then we're going to do something. Profit, I'm assuming. I feel that we're going to take a good number of these and put them here. This whole lane thing is not going to exist. Is this used? Never used. Okay, so we can get rid of you easy peasy. So yeah, we can remove you too. 11%, however, is still. How is that going to look like in terms of movement? Is what I'm curious about. Did my alarm not go off? I'm pretty sure I set an alarm for about 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like it's getting a bit late. Let me check real quick. Oh yeah, there it is. 1 minute left. Okay, cool. Stop it here. Let me. I just want to do some more movement stuff. I'm thinking. Yeah, we're gonna do this whole angle offset thing a bit differently though. We're gonna do update. Yeah, target angle. No, we're not going to do this whole target offset thing. I think what we're going to do instead is have a speed value. So we can do that. We can have a speed variable. So private. First of all, we're going to change you to speed. Yeah. Make a private float called speed. Cool. Now the question is, do we move them immediately, or Do we set the target? We could treat this almost like we could treat this like, instead of target angle, we can set this as target. Yeah, first of all, it's not going to be an additive process. Oh. I mean, unless we have input. I'm thinking kind of far into the future, but because I'm thinking we're not going to have normalized input actually. It's going to be input that's clamped to values of -1 to 1, but it's not going to be always normalized. I want to allow for less than magnitude 1 inputs so that we can have things like gradient or variable speedle. And in fact, we can use input y as the multiplier here. We don't have to do this whole index wrapping thing anymore. And in fact, current angle may not be a bad thing actually. But lane count, it becomes irrelevant at this point. So does index. That's not important. So we just literally just give them this target angle speed. Let's call it angle speed, right? Because that's what we're doing. And then we can have this inertia thing on update where the actual node the node rotation starts rotating to that point. Because we're setting this to update movement Karen. Yeah, this is lerping. Current angle, target angle, lerp percent. Yeah, I want this update to be applied on update. So let's go up here. Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna do this whole lerp business, in all honesty. I think we're gonna do current rotation. Node rotation degrees equals new vector 3 current angle current rotation current angle. Target angle speed, I'm thinking. So we are continuously adding because at this point, like, why even have we can have okay, actually no, there is a good point to this, right? Because we need to have inertia, we need to have stopping, right? So we can do target angle speed, set this to fall down angle speed. Yeah, target angle speed. And it's gonna go from target angle speed to 0. Yeah, that's why I was confused for a second. I forgot. Oh yeah. 0 is equivalent to target speed. Okay, that makes sense to me. This does make sense to me. Then this just leaves having a constructor here for this that provides all these values. Oh, my sister. My sister. My sister be texting me. Okay. So what values aren't being used? Speed isn't. Speed is used. Don't lie to me. It's never assigned. Okay, I understand. Free. Hey, that's what we're talking about. Current angle does not matter. This does not matter. Cool. Now we can go back up here. We can actually do our whole little fun enum thing. Movement. Free lane. So we have free movement, we have lane-based movement. Cool. We're also going to change this to be camera target. Spatial camera target. No. We're going to change lane movement here to be eye movement. And in its wake, we're going to go back to doing the thing we initially had. We did the switch statement. Oh, we need to make a variable for this enum as well. Export. We're export public e movement type. And by default, it's gonna be that. Cool. And then we're gonna go back down here. Yep. Cool. And then we're gonna set movement to new free rotation movement. And I forgot what values we used to construct this. Oh, it's right there. Fantastic. Lane count. Player lerp speed. Fantastic. And then over here, well, this is actually lane based, so we're gonna move this down. Yeah. Movement. And we're gonna say it's equal to new free rotation movement. And again, we pass this, and then we pass speed, I believe, and then player lerp speed. Which, okay, that actually works well. And then since we use a strategy pattern, we get to have the benefits of not really having to update these methods. However, the one I am particularly concerned about is this one here, because depending on is that loud for you guys too? It was loud for me. That hit hard. That just came out of nowhere, just snuck up behind me and hugged me. Okay. Let's try this out. Let's try this out. Oh, no, actually, no, we can't try this out. Instead, we're gonna do eye movement. We're gonna change this to move pressed. And then we're gonna do void move held. Important distinction there. Held. Important distinction. This class. Move held. And this is for free rotation. So we're gonna move this actually down. And then over here, we're gonna implement missing members, and it's gonna stay missing because we're not updating this when held. And then back to here, we're gonna go back to our input. So we have this is movement pressed button. We also have to duplicate this is held. Very different thing. It's pressed. And I believe is action is gonna is action held. And this should also have the condition that this is not being pressed, because pressed and held should be distinctly exclusive things. And if I can recall correctly, this not only calls when it's held down, but also when it's being pressed initially. So we should also add the condition. Actually, is action. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna test this out first. We're gonna do input. We're gonna calculate input and regardless. We're gonna use them in 2 different spots. Maybe less optimal, but might as well reuse them. Move held. Input. Okay, and now this should actually be ready for use here. If you go to player, where's player? There. I was blind for a second. And we build. What do we get if we build? We should get yes. So let's do free, and let's play it. And we should have profit if everything goes according to plan. Oh. That's what. Oh, because also speed is really high. Let's change this to like 1 instead. And try this out. Yeah, it's not moving in any direction. Let me make sure these values are correct for the switch. If it's free rotation, these are all free rotations. None of them are. Oh, lane should be lane movement. Yeah, that might be an issue. But then that means everything should have been. Yeah, the sign is less relevant at this point. Yeah, okay, so that's kind of bizarre because it's behaving like the lane movement, but it was actually it was actually the free movement. Yeah, it's not really rotating. What if we do three times that amount? Bizarre. Oh, you know what? I might know the thing here. So the update movement is lerping back to angle of 0. This is the issue, I think. Lane movement, yeah, lane movement. Free rotation. So if we look here, target angle speed, and then we do rotation, and it's doing target angle speed. That's not what we want to do. We want to do plus the current Euler angles to this. So we should actually be doing plus equals here. And in fact, we should keep current rotation 0 because we don't want to add to these axes. Yeah, it's like this is almost like going up a derivative, right? Where instead of manipulating the axial position, now we're just manipulating the velocity, right? Which means we shouldn't be feeding in the original angles back into it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because it was lerping back to its initial position. That was the issue there. So now we play it. Well, it's backwards. It's backwards, but you got the spirit. You got the spirit. So we just gotta invert this for some reason. The Y is, I don't know. That's just angles work. Okay, so let's build it again. Actually, just play it. Just playing build it. All right, let's change this to 1. And let's actually do something different here. I think we actually have to do the callback. Now that I remember, for checking if things are being held, it's actually better to... Yeah, it's better to do the callback, I think, if I remember correctly. From our little tests before. Singleton dot notification connect. That's what I want to do. I forgot the parameters for you. You take string signal that we're listening for. So you signal object the target, and then the method we're doing. Okay, cool. So in our case, we would be doing UI underscore left, I believe, or up. We'd be doing this, and then we'd be doing name of, and then we're gonna insert input, I believe. That's what we're really doing. But in actuality, we would be calling... Oh, this is a pickle. This is actually a pickle. Name of input. Yeah. So we have to actually make a separate thing that free maybe, I don't know, free input, maybe that might be the best thing to do, because this is what we're doing here is not is action held thing is just not really working out, if I'm gonna be honest. And then we have to calculate input. Free input. Yeah, this action held thing is just, it's not the way to go in here. We have to actually use signals. It's the best thing to use in this scenario, just so you don't get that weird thing. And then get free input, yeah, we'll do this instead. Free input. Yeah, that might be the best alternative. getting the free. Yeah, there's an error happening here. Teleconnect non-existent UI up to method spatial free signal. Yeah, UI up. That does not exist for some reason. Why is that the case? It most definitely exists. UI up. Why does this signal not exist? Do we have to do? I'm trying to think. Or is it project settings, input map, UI select, UI left. I forgot, there's a particular thing I had to do for this. I would have thought this was the signal name. What is the action? UI left, up, down. I'm trying to think. Auto load plugins import nord beta. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm mistaken. Connect. Method. Okay. Let's just do a quick Google search. If it doesn't work out, we're just gonna call it here. We're gonna do C# for everything. Yeah, is action press. Yeah. Unhandled input. Huh. Maybe this is what we need. Let's check 3.5 though, to see if they actually have a thing like that. They do in 3.5. Input, and then there's unhandled. Generic input first. No one wants it last. Unhandled input. Okay. How do you subscribe to input? How do you do that? I wonder if unhandled input behaves better. If life is better with unhandled input. I'm actually genuinely curious. So we're gonna try this out one more time. And instead of just doing input, we're gonna do unhandled input. And it seems like that doesn't cause any issues. So we're gonna try this one more time. If it works, I'm gonna kind of freak out. Nope. Wait a second. Let's see here. It seems like it's still doing the same issue. Or it's delayed and it takes a minute before it registers a press. still annoying. Okay. So we're still running into this issue. I wonder if there's this input type is one that can be assigned. Action. Pressed and is action. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I'm not sure. I feel like we're gonna end up having to just do the solution I mentioned. This signal thing. I know I had it working at some point. How do you check to see input dot singleton get no, I feel like there might be something here. Action, no. Action pressed. Okay, this might be it actually. Is there just a UI up? To string? This returns no, it's a void. There's no return type on this. Action press. Oh, this simulates. This simulates. Okay. This simulates input. Just kidding. To signal. No. Okay, we're gonna check one more thing out. To signal. No, not Unity. Godot. Get out of here, old friend. We're not friends no more. And 3.5. No, not that. Input action to signal Godot. Using input event. This is the same thing. This is the same thing we went to before. Input examples. Okay. No answers here. Input actions Godot 3 recipes. I see no C#. You're killing me. Is action pressed Oh, you could run this in process, not on input. So that's how you do it. Yeah, it's a 3. Oh, there's like 3 ways to do it. Okay. Yeah, we'd probably have to do that in process actually. Which I actually kind of like as a solution much more than what we're doing with this, because what that action's more of a polling action anyways. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Goodbye. Smell you later. We're gonna grab you, and we're gonna go into process, and we're gonna do this at the very tippy top. What is going on here with this quad stuff? Oh, it's a camera rotation, which should probably be moved into its own script, to be honest. But for now, we ball. Okay, and then next var input equals calculate input. And then what do they do here? Do they do? I believe they do input dot singleton is action. Or is it a static thing I could just do? Action pressed. And then do you return a bool? You don't. Oh, I forgot. This simulates input. What they doing here? Yeah. Okay, they're just doing straight up in the input static class. Cool. Oh, my bad. Is action pressed? Booyah. Booyah. And we're gonna do our valid inputs here. So we're gonna do like up. UI up and bool down equals input that is action pressed. UI down. Cool. Up. Oh no. And down. Or actually, what am I doing? Up or down? And then we're gonna do movement held. Okay, and that should maybe work. That should maybe do the thing. Oh yeah, that's much better. Oh, I kind of like this movement more than our lane thing before. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of enjoy this much more than our lane movement. I kind of enjoy this more, to be honest. Yeah, we just need to change the return to idle method, but this is actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is actually kind of tight. Speed, like point. Let's make it like 8, 7. It's a little too fast right now. It's a little too fast, but we're still cooking. We're still cooking. All right. Let's add it. Let's add this. We're gonna add a can idle thing to this eye movement strategy, what have you. Bool can idle, and we're gonna just do a get. And fantastic. For our little lane movement method here, or class, we're gonna always make it true, because by the time you're requesting it, it should be time to idle. So that's always gonna be true. As for our free rotation, we're gonna make it conditional, and that is gonna be if target angle speed is greater than 0.01. If you're greater than that, or if you're less than that, actually, you can idle. If you're less than an amount, you can idle. And then we're gonna make it so that every time you call, oh, honestly, now that I think about this, how should the idle state be allowed and triggered? Because we could have the animation manually call. We could have the animation manually call. You could have the animation manually call the return to idle method, but I'd rather not have the animation dictate that. I'd rather have this dictate that. So, what do we do? What do we do? We can create a mutual dependency between this and the player. I don't really like that. We could add a whatchamacallit? Could add a callback, but I don't like that. But that may be the thing. Or we could just have the return to idle manually be done at the end of update movement, at the end of process. So whatever movement strategy we're in process, we can do if movement control dot can idle return to idle. We could do that, and that would work, honestly, pretty well. And in fact, that makes the animation stuff even more simpler, because we no longer have to manage the idle state. That's just done off rip. Oh, but the lane movement stuff is not going to be able to, that's not going to work properly for the main lane movement. Now we have to actually manage some logic within lane movement stuff. Pre-rotation movement, lane movement. Yeah, this can no longer be true. So instead, we'll do if current angle is current angle minus target angle is greater than, is less than 0.01 or something. And that should be fine. If that's the case, then alright, let's try this out. Oh, I'm in the wrong scene. Yeah, you're gonna error. Yeah, here we go. Let's try this out again. Well, that's weird. Down works, up doesn't. Let's check these animation scripts, because we should probably update these to no longer have this. Yeah, we can delete this stuff, which is actually kind of nice. Cool. And then we can go back here, and then we can press play, and then we can blah 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 blah. It's so bizarre that that's happening with the lane movement. Let's go back here to lane free movement. Let's go back to free movement. Let's first of all reduce this target angle speed Oh, because it's not absolute value. Yeah. Yep. I forgot about that. That makes a big difference. And then same thing for the lane movement here. This doesn't matter. The absolute value of that stuff is what matters. Cool, and that should about cover everything, if I'm correct. And we'll see right now real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I would play around with this lerp speed a little bit more. Cause can I update this actually in real time? I should be able to. Player lerp speed is 10. What if we reduce this down to like here and go back into player? I'm not sure. I don't think it's actually updating in real time. Yeah, it's like really fast. I want to see if there's any. I want to see if I can get some inertia in there. Oh, so I want to see if I can get this to loop. That'd be important. Loop. Yes, and if there's loop points, that'd be even better. Loop points would be even better. That might be a stretch right now, though. But a man can dream. There we go. Loop. Length. Looping. Any options for loop points? That'd make me very happy. Having loop points would be really, really rad. What is this? Autoplay on load. Oh, that's a cool signal. Yeah, always should be actually autoplay on load, to be honest. Oh, got you. Only one of these can be autoplay on load. Okay. Yeah, down should be auto looped as well. And you should not be 1 second. You should be like yeah, 1.75, 1.175. Can I adjust when this loop begins? No. You gave me hope, but that's not the case. That's alright. I expected as much. I expected it. Alright, and then we go back to test environment. Yeah, it looks goofy. Let's say, let's actually say this is for this. Instead of saying if target speed is not is greater than 0, let's say if it's less than speed. That's really the goal here, right? Is to be at that speed level. I know if I have non-normalized inputs, it'll be weird. Is less than. That's odd. It's saying that target angle speed is less than speed, which should be correct. And it's always, this is always less than speed. Speed minus 1. 80%, let's say. Yeah, not 8 grams. Okay, maybe this should be enough. This is goofy. Yeah, maybe maybe about like 20% of the speed. Maybe that'd be better. Oh no, that's like, it looks weird. It looks it looks weird, man. I gotta change the animation. Either delete those 2 frames or yeah, I think I might have to actually just remove those 2 frames, because as is, it's kind of wild, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of out of pocket. Hey, yeah, I may have to just do that, because if there's no loop points where I can just play the first animation and that's it, then yeah, there's like filters and stuff. What about you? Enable onion skinning. No, I'm not trying to do onion skin. Code gizmos. Paint animation player. Nope. Animation property. Can I add loop points? No, that's just the player. Oh, I think this may not be a thing in this engine. Yeah, I think that this is just not something that's in the cards for me. So what I'm left to do is to delete these 2 points, these 2 frames, and then yeah, I think that's just what I have to do, because it looks weird not to do that. Scooch these guys over, and now it'd be 1.2 instead of, is it 1.2? Looks like 1.2. No, 1.2. And then same thing with down. What? What? You can do negatives? Is that how you do loop points? Would have been nice to know. It's already too late for me. Alright, 1.2. Yeah, that should be much more family friendly looking. There's still like a weird frame or something where it's just, where is this frame happening at? I have to know now. I have to know. Frame 3. Yeah, 3 is where stuff goes. Let's see if it's the same thing for the up, for the down one. I'm gonna down. Down. Yes, import them all. Yeah, 3. So I have to remove one more frame for this to really be more fluid. That makes sense. That's alright. And this should be what? More, what? Oh, 0.1. Yeah. Nine 0.1. Save. Go back here. Press play. Is her hair even moving when she's going down? It doesn't even look like it. That looks cool though. This is like a cool effect. Jeez, the initial momentum's like insane. I'm not gonna lie, the initial momentum's insane. Let's make this stop more snappy and reduce the speed even more. It's like 0.3 or something. Yeah. Okay. God, it's slow now. All right. What about this? That's better. And then dampening, speed, camera speed, camera speed. No, I don't care about camera speed. Camera lerp speed. Clear lerp speed. Still, yeah, it's too high. Like, this should be fine. Yeah, look at that move. The rotational movement is kind of really fast, man. All right, let's make this wire. Let's play around with this wireframe a little bit more. Actually, you know what? We're gonna call the stream here. All right. We've been gone for too long. It's been 2 hours already. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, bye-bye.